Hello and welcome back everyone, and I am excited to be doing a shot-for-shot trailer breakdown for The Challenge All-Stars Season 5 Rivals. That's right, after part 2 of the final for The Challenge 40, The Challenge released the official trailer for The Challenge All-Stars 5. The problem is that they only released it on the TV, and as of filming this, have yet to release it online via their social media accounts or their YouTube channel. I don't know if they're worried about overshadowing the finals, but they should have thought of that before airing the trailer on TV right after the final. So I want to apologize for the quality of pictures, as I had to record this trailer off of social media, off of a fan account that had a max of 486p. So I will do my best in post to make these pictures as clear as possible. I'm excited to jump right into this because I want to put the Challenge 40 in the past, and I'm looking towards the future of All-Stars 5. The first frame we see is of the elimination arena. As we can see, there are two podiums for the two winners to stand, the pair in power, and we don't see too much of a raised platform. Like in All-Stars 4, we had such a huge stage for the players to look down at the elimination arena. Everybody's just going to be pretty much on level playing field. This is a field for a daily challenge where we can see that there is a ditch, and just past the ditch is a star ball pit. We're looking at other scenes in this trailer. It looks like the team members are going to have to go in, grab their own colored balls, and then try to make their way in and out of the ditch, and then be able to put their balls in their puzzle station. I'm sure the first pair to grab all of their balls out of this pit and move them to their puzzle station on the other side of the field will win into power. TJ is riding up on an ATV, and speaking of TJ, he has quite a lot to say in this beginning portion of the trailer where he says, "For the first time ever, the Challenge All-Stars is coming exclusively to MTV. But with a twist." And as we can see, this is the Challenge All-Stars logo. This reminds me so much of the Leap of Faith Daily Challenge in the Challenge 40, Battle of the Eras, but it's going to be played a little bit differently, but it looks very similar, as it looks like Adam and Steve here are going to be over the edge of a building, and they're going to have to jump to capture this flag. As we can see, the pulled out view of the two people jumping to get one flag, and then right next to them, there's like 3 more flags that have to be picked up. So my thought process is that you're gonna have to jump multiple times to grab a flag. The very next scene is everybody watching players jumping off the building trying to grab the flags. It looks almost identical to what happened in season 40. But here we can see a good amount of people are still in the game when they're doing this challenge. As we can see, we got Sylvia, Katie, Nicole, Melissa, Devin, Fessel, Big T, Ashley M, Dario, which we know that Ashley K is still there as well, and Corey L is also there. Still a good amount of teams. Maybe this is going to be one of the first couple of daily challenges on the season. And there's the MTV logo, just in case if anyone was confused. Will this be on Paramount Plus or MTV? It's definitely going to be on MTV. Here, everyone is lined up to run in the desert, which, can I just ask, could this be the mini final that we saw in season 40 that everybody's going to be having to do? Because a lot of these challenges could look similar. I'm glad that they're not all directly the same, because that would remind me of like the Global spin-off series where everything just looked like a copy of season 38. Talking about something similar, doing what looks to be the truck challenge from season 40, but with a twist, as she will be twisting up a storm here, as we see her kind of flipping as she grabs the ring with her legs. What they have these players do is having their partners push them to give them enough momentum to try to reach out and grab the rings that are hanging up where those targets were in season 40, where it looks like Ashley does a pretty good maneuver here. Here's TJ at the debut night of All-Stars 5, I would think, because he says, "Welcome everyone to the Challenge All-Stars," where we see everybody in street clothes. They're all having a good time. We can see Davon and Corey L like hanging out, cheering after TJ says all that, but then TJ gets the camera focused on him and he says, "The Challenge All-Stars Rivals." And as quickly as we saw everybody in their normal clothes and street clothes, we can see them all wearing their challenge gear, all set up to possibly go into an elimination, which it's interesting seeing every single person dressed up in elimination gear. I wonder if this elimination kind of style format could be that maybe whoever gets thrown into the elimination gets to call out whoever they want to go up against. We move to a scene of Nicole and Melissa next to each other, but then right in the next frame, we have Melissa next to Turbo, and she is looking like she is in pain or very much in shock of what is happening. Could this mean that Big T is going to get eliminated? Because I can't imagine Melissa being this upset about anybody leaving or something happening in the elimination unless it was to happen to Big T. But here we have Melissa going, no! 13 pairs of rivals. And TJ says, that's right, 13 all-star pairs. Let's put that all-stars in quotes. All-star pairs of rivals are about to battle it out on MTV. Think you can make it work with your worst enemy? And we see Fessel and Amber will be doing the truck challenge. Beth and John A may not get to the truck challenge because a lot of the people that are featured in this challenge look to be in front of the truck, as we'll see later on, but Beth and John A are kind of out in the woods here. Adam and Steve here are on top of the building, ready to jump and try to catch a flag that is hanging up. And I want to take this time, there is a green stripe on his helmet. And I've been taking extensive notes when going through this trailer, and I have taken some notes that each pair has their own specific color. So it makes it easier to spy out to see possibly who's making it where on the season. Turbo and Donnie are red. Devin and Leroy are yellow. Purple is Frank and Sam. Light blue is Shane and Davon. Dario and Ashley K are orange, I believe. Dark blue is Veronica and Katie. Steve and Adam are light green. Dark green is Nicole and Melissa. And Kellyanne and Sylvia are aqua. Big T and Coriel are gray. And there's some people that I could not figure out or decipher a color, like Ashley M and Anissa. I just could not find a color for them. Or like Beth and John A, I don't know a color for them either. Amber and Fessel, I also don't have a color for them. So we see Shane and Davon also doing the truck challenge. Katie and Veronica will also be doing the truck challenge. There is Kellyanne and Sylvia on top of the building, ready to jump. Kellyanne looks very, very nervous. Kellyanne did not get that far in season 40, so she never even had to attempt the leap of faith. Well, here she is getting a chance to do it herself. Here is the other side of Ashley grabbing the ring. It looks like she's coming in hot. She's spinning as well, and she does like a flying kick to Anissa. It hits Anissa, and then you see from Anissa's GoPro that she gets pushed back a little bit, and the ring starts to bounce off the side of the truck, and Anissa has to go try to run and get it. Here we have Big T saying, this is a disaster. We're in the woods. TJ is blowing the horn. This is where the blurriness really does not help with deciphering who is here. But as we can see, Turbo and Nani are doing this challenge. And from this still, I can make out that mustache anywhere, and that is Frank, and Sam will also be doing this challenge. It seems like there's going to be a lot of people doing this challenge. As we can see, there's Nani running past TJ. Now, looking at the stations, I mentioned the color coordination of the teams and pairs for a reason, as if the stations are color coordinated to the pairs' colors that they have on their helmets, we can see that Melissa and Nani are going to be on the far left. You have Adam and Steve on the light green station, probably Davon and Shane on the light blue. Pink, but I think that's also going to be played around for purple, is Frank and Sam. And then orange, that's orange, but maybe, possibly, it could be either Ashley K and Dario, or it could be Turbo and Nani. Frank and Sam are doing a challenge where they have to carry, I think, water from one spot to another, and they're holding a purple stick. Sam takes a tumble, as they probably had to do multiple trips back and forth, back and forth. I thought that there were going to be buckets at the end of these ropes. It looks like they're just saucers. How much water can you transfer with just saucers? Shane here says it's rivals, not allies. Thank you, Shane, for telling us that. It could be refreshing having a rival season after All-Stars 4 and Season 40 back-to-back with stars, with karma points. It'll be nice to see some tension and some drama. I believe that this is possibly Turbo and Nani in this challenge. And my only thought of what this challenge could be is that this whole station has a single color painted over it. And what you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to fall in then have to climb up, fall in, and you're trying to like scrape off all the paint from your station. This is where I felt like maybe Big T and RVIALS like team color is gray because they have like gray puzzle pieces in their lane, where I would think that the team to their right is Devin and Leroy, and I think that the team to their left is Frank and Sam with all the purple / magenta, and it looks like they have to carry it a specific way on a stretcher. But here's Corey covered in mud. Big T is also covered in mud. Sam and Frank will be doing the truck challenge as Sam is reaching to try to grab the ring, but misses. This looks to be a very interesting daily challenge, as it looks like they're gonna have to make one of those like cup pyramids with these like trash cans. But the way they're going to have to do it is they can't stack them with their hands. They have to stack them with this apparatus, open and close the little clamp, one person having the 2 ropes on either side to help pick it up, and they have to work together to then stack crates / trash bins. In elimination, TJ looks over it. Devon in a confessional, which I think she's going to get a ton of confessionals on this season. I'm so excited to see Devon back on our TVs on the challenge. And in this confessional, she says, it's gonna be a long season. We see Shane kind of getting emotional in the forest during a challenge, or possibly maybe even in the final. I don't know. DJ says no other season has so much tension. And as we see from the ball pit ditch daily challenge, as we can see, it looks to be on the far right is Kellyanne and Sylvia. Looking at the person holding the dark green balls, I think that is Nicole and or Melissa, so they'll be doing this challenge as well. And here we have Turbo with the red stripe, but he is also holding orange balls, so to me, I'm thinking maybe the orange station could be Nani and Turbo. But we hear Devin saying in this little section, Turbo is a loose cannon. As we see, Turbo and Nani will be doing the truck challenge as well. Turbo and Nani look to be going into an elimination at some point. I can't tell what they're doing, but it looks like it's a big old puzzle. Turbo says, I'm going to take my revenge, and they're just like hanging out. Maybe they're getting ready to head out to do the daily challenge. Nani is grabbing a cup of coffee before heading out, getting caffeinated, and Turbo saying something, and Nani says, stop, it is too bleeping early for this bleep. Enough. Nani is not having it with her partner Turbo, but this is very telling because we can see quite a few people just hanging around here, and this is quite early on in the game. We see Melissa and Nicole are still in the game at this point. Steve, so Adam is going to be lurking around. I think that is Kellyanne laying on the couch. That's Dario sitting there as well. We have Katie and Veronica as well. So there's quite a few people still hanging around in this game when Nani is being frustrated. I believe that this is going to be in the final. They might be taking some of the finalists via car to a different checkpoint, from doing a station to then getting into a car and then taking them to the final, or this is the start of the final and they're taking them to the starting line. Here we have Frank doing that like slope challenge where I saw possibly maybe that it was Turbo and Nani having to slip down into this trough of like paint, and here's Frank doing it. So maybe it was Frank, as this is all yellow, and the trough that we saw, or the ramp that we saw that the players were sliding down, had yellow in their like ramp. So maybe I got the color of the helmet wrong, and maybe instead of it being red, it's a dark magenta purple, and possibly that was Frank and Sam doing this challenge. Frank and Sam are in this trailer a ton. This looks to be like a fun old style type of challenge, you know? You got the suds, you got the inner tubes, maybe players are playing like shuffleboard, maybe they have to try to like move suds from one place to another, or move something that is in the suds from one place to another using the inner tubes. I think that this is gonna be a lot of fun. Again, I think that maybe I got the colors wrong, and instead of red, Nani and Turbo are orange. Sam and Frank are in the background. Devon and Shane are in the background as well. TJ says no other season has so much baggage, and right after he says that, you have Anissa, which I'm not going to say it. Anissa and Ashley M are paired up and will be doing the truck challenge. Anissa and Ashley look to be possibly on top of the building, ready to jump to try to capture a flag. And this is where Ashley M calling Anissa a pick-me girl and says, friends with everyone is friends with no one. Ashley looks to be frustrated. Here they are walking through the woods, possibly going to a challenge, or they just lost a challenge and they're going to be going into an elimination, as they don't look like they're pumped up, ready to play. It looks like they just got finished playing a challenge and maybe didn't do so well. Anissa has a confessional saying, there are people that play a weird game and there are people that just suck. A little bit of irony there. Here we have Ashley M and Anissa will be doing a challenge. It looks like they're going to be using glass to maybe try to push water in a certain spot to maybe fill up a barrel somewhere or put it somewhere else, or maybe for it not to fill up in their own situation. Here I think is the debut episode 1, where TJ is putting everybody in their pairs, where kind of like in Rivals and Rivals 2, where he would call one person down and then call their rival down to stand next to him. This is very interesting as we hear Ashley say, I don't joke about anything personal about you. So maybe Anissa says something about Ashley. Ashley catches wind of this and they have a big blow up. I think that Ashley and Anissa is going to be like oil and vinegar. They're not going to mix well at all. So I don't have high hopes for them, as we see that Anissa also is crying. Speaking of not mixing well, we have two Are You the One alums looking like they're squaring off as Devin and Dario get into each other's faces. TJ says no other season brings so much joy, as TJ is laughing as we see the podium is right in front of him and he is laughing, and the only time TJ laughs that much is during trivia. Here we see Frank and Sam doing a sand dune challenge, which again could be the mini final, possibly. Using the same sand dunes desert that they did in season 40. This is almost like reminded me so much of season 23. It's kind of crazy. But this is where Sam says it's physically draining and mentally draining. Shane looks to be having a tough time. It looks like, again, it's dusk. It's getting late. It looks like Melissa is frustrated. Here we have Amber saying, you're the biggest snake in the house right now. Who could she be saying that about? Dang near everybody. But the next clip is Frank and Leroy, and it looks like they're on wait to do the jumping off the building challenge, as it has the same background and they're all harnessed up. Maybe Frank was trying to strategize with Adam, and we know Adam can be pretty steadfast and stubborn and have a little bit of a temper, so maybe Frank was trying to be strategic with trying to make a plan or make a deal with Adam, and Adam is kind of not hearing him out, and so Frank is leaving very frustrated. Here we have Devin and Leroy talking with one another, and we hear Devin saying, you lie, you just clearly got caught in a lie. Can't really tell if Devin is talking to Leroy about him being caught in a lie, or is this when the whole Dario and Devin thing happened, because he's wearing the blue shirt. We saw in the scene prior with Devin and Dario, Devin is wearing a blue shirt, so possibly Devin is wanting to call out Dario for getting caught in a lie. Maybe Dario says something to Leroy and now is thinking about going back on it. Here's the challenge that we saw with Frank and Sam, where Sam was like on the ground with the ball and Frank is like standing over Sam. We see somebody jumping onto the sand dune. This has to be the ball pit ditch challenge. As we can see, Devin and Leroy is in this challenge. This has to be All-Stars 5's iteration of the BK Burger King car going over the cliff and then unhooking yourself to then swim, because this is very, very identical, but instead of a cool hot rod car, the teams are on an ATV driving right off a cliff trying to jump and catch onto a star. I guess you have to do it the quickest. Kind of reminds me of Road to Nowhere in season 28, Rivals 3. Here we have Fessel and Amber. We will see this kind of challenge where it seems like the players are going to have to transport mud from a mud pit to a station, or have to do like a certain amount of mud, but you can't use your hands. So here we have the strategy of Fessel having all the mud on Amber, and Amber's going to be holding all of the mud on her, and Fessel is going to pick up Amber and the mud to their station. It's going to be very interesting how that's all going to play out. Everybody's lined up to do a challenge. You know what? I kind of just counted, and it looks like possibly from this angle, maybe everybody's here, maybe all 13 pairs are here, but From this angle, it kind of looks like maybe 1 or 2 pairs are missing. So maybe the truck challenge is like maybe within the first 3 challenges of the season. This is where TJ says, I'm sure all of you fantasized about pushing your partner off a truck. This is the start of the truck challenge where TJ has a really nice orange shirt. We get to see 2 teammates doing this. I believe that Melissa and Nicole are on the right. I can't tell from the silhouette, but I think that is Melissa and Nicole. And I want to say that Turbo and Nani are on my left. Veronica says, show your bleeping cards sitting next to Frank. I think Veronica and Frank will be working very closely with one another. And you know what? Good for them. I view Frank and Veronica as such strategic and political players. Some of the best masterminds in challenge history, and if they're working together, they will be a lethal duo. Is this the final? You know, because it is dusk, it is evening, this is clearly going to be a place where people are sleeping, as it looks like there is chairs and somewhat like a bed-ish. Everybody has their own designated like sleeping areas. There's chairs, there's rugs, there's places, designated places for people to sleep. Where do you sleep outside but in the final? I hope that this isn't a huge spoiler here. Like maybe they just have an overnight challenge, which we haven't had in a little bit. Well, we have had overnight challenges. If they did a Rivals 3 where they stood on top of the boxes next to each other and they had those weird things happening all night and then they had to answer questions about them, I would be very, very happy about that. Shane is walking off as we hear from a man that I can't make out the voice saying, "You're obsessed with me." Here we have Sam and Frank, where Sam says, he's stubborn and I'm stubborn. We see Beth walking into a daily challenge in line, and John A says, Beth tried to ruin my life, which is why they're paired up as rivals on a season, and they are doing the mud challenge in the woods, you know, where we saw them like standing. That seems to be the same background. I don't know, possibly what happens if Beth and John A are one and done in like episode 1, they get eliminated. But Beth is loading up John A's back with a ton of mud. Dario and Ashley K will be doing the truck challenge, where we hear what I think is Ashley M saying the 2 of them are exes for a reason. Kellyanne and Sylvia are getting ready to get strapped up to jump off the building. Kellyanne saying, I was hoping I'd never have to see her again, which I'm sure she's talking about Sylvia. We have a bar night. Everybody's hanging out. Possibly maybe this is day 1. Night 1, where everybody is getting to hang out, finally get to see the house for the first time, and Beth is listening to John A, where John A is saying, I just don't understand. Out of all of the rivals, John A and Beth have the toughest hill to go for, because that could have really ruined John A's like whole life and relationship and parenting and everything. Like that could have just really gone like really south, where everybody else is just like, we didn't see eye to eye in the game, or long ago on season 8, we yelled at each other, you know, like people can get over that or have gotten over that, but possibly sabotaging your marriage is a lot too far. Nani is covered in mud, probably from doing the mud challenge of carrying mud like we saw with Fessel and Amber and John A and Beth. That Nani looks absolutely exhausted, covered in mud. Everybody's covered in mud behind her. I wonder if this is the same challenge that we saw with Frank and Sam, where Frank was holding the water in the 2 plates and Sam like fell down. I wonder, possibly could this be Sam again? I don't see Frank anywhere, but maybe Sam's just having a really tough time like getting it together at this point. Leroy and Devin will be going into an elimination where Leroy is doing the whole, yeah, I'm ready to do it. I'm ready to get into this elimination. Melissa and Nicole are carrying a whole bunch of puzzle pieces through the woods, and it looks like they're not having a good time. It looks like they keep dropping them, and Melissa gets frustrated and just throws a piece at another piece, and it bounces off of each other. Beth and John A are looking into an elimination, so maybe, just maybe, John A and Beth aren't the first to be eliminated on the season, and they're actually looking into an elimination here. Frank is looking like he is hoping that him and Sam do not get called. Davon looks absolutely shocked as we hear TJ saying, I have one little surprise to cap this off. Kellyanne and Sylvia getting into it, where Kellyanne says, all I know is that you're a blank. I am so frustrated. Shane is listening into this, but they're yelling so loud, I think everybody can hear this. But this is going to be one of those seasons where if the drama is taken to such a certain level that we have not seen in quite some time, and we do see a lot of what we've seen in this trailer in the season, this is going to be kind of disappointing not getting it on Paramount Plus. Like, out of all of the All-Star seasons, I kind of wish this one was on Paramount Plus just so we could get it uncensored. Now, if they would put the episodes next day on Paramount Plus and uncensored, game changer. I'm telling you, MTV, please do that. That would be so incredible. This scene makes it look like that Adam and Frank are in a deliberation where Frank says, "Is that a threat, bleep?" I love his shirt, by the way, too. TJ is laughing, saying this is so great, but we have Anissa shocked. Ashley is laughing, which makes me think that possibly there is somebody in an elimination that people thought that they were going in as such a big top dog that they actually go on to lose the elimination and the underdog wins. Hence why you have Anissa being so what? And we have Ashley laughing about it because maybe Ashley was like praying for the downfall of this team that is being so confident and Anissa just didn't see this one coming. You know, maybe, possibly. Here's the truck challenge going down the runway. We have what I think is the Avengers Tower / the same tower that they used in Season 40's Leap of Faith, but on the opposite side where you don't see the helicopter pad. Here we have the players running through the jungle where we see Melissa and Nicole, but I can't make out anybody else. Here we have what I think is interesting because here I feel like they're on the opposite end of the dunes where they had to take the balls and move them to the opposite end to then get to your puzzle station and then put together a puzzle. And if the color coordination is correct, then the three teams here that I see, not saying that there's only three teams, because I think that there's way more than three teams, but the three teams that I see is purple / pink is Frank and Sam, which we've already seen them in this sort of challenge on a different scene earlier on in the trailer. Here we have green, that is light green, but it could be Adam and Steve, or it could be Melissa and Nicole. And then light blue, I believe that is Davon and Shane. Here we have Turbo doing some shadow boxing, maybe practicing. And he also has a cowboy hat. I love this backyard, because look at that backyard. It looks like they have some fun and games. They have like cornhole, but also a different apparatus to maybe like practice a challenge or two. They probably have a pool, a nice like fire pit. This looks to be a really good house. Davon and Shane will be doing the ATV off the cliff challenge. I think that this is Ashley and Dario from an opposite end, the back angle, because we know that Dario and Ashley K will be doing this challenge, but we saw them from the front angle. Now we're seeing them from the back angle. Here, the dark blue, and you can see a little bit of Veronica's name on the back of her helmet. So Katie and Veronica will be doing this. Good luck. They are two of the smallest players in the game, and they're going to have to really reach out for that star, I believe. And I unfortunately think that Davon and Shane don't actually get their star because it's still hanging the cliff and holding on, whereas they are already off. And here's TJ, which I think he's at the trivia challenge, and he says, "Oh my gosh, I've seen it all. I've seen it all." Which only can make me think that, holy heck, what if something crazy happens that if TJ, who has been hosting the challenge since season 11, and a lot of the spin-offs, is seeing something for the first time in his challenge career, oh boy, this is going to be really, really fun, really, really exciting. Also, at one point, TJ has a sentence that is breaking up over the course of the entire trailer, and he says, because the best chance for these all-stars to win is to live and die by their rival. And then boom, we get the Challenge All-Stars 5 Rivals logo card. And that is it for the trailer. I have to say, that is really, really great stuff. I mean, we are going drama to the max. I am still going to be cautiously optimistic because we have seen plenty of times trailers for seasons that they put out there, they have all these juicy tidbits in there, and then all of a sudden we get the actual season, and a lot of those moments just somehow don't make it into the final cut. Where I've heard that the challenge will hire editors outside of the challenge to put together their trailer specifically, and then they'll use their own in-house editors to do the actual episode. So I'm gonna be cautiously optimistic because Coming into the season, I was kind of like, I don't know what to expect. Season 40 is kind of dragging. Season 39 was doing its thing. All Stars 4 was kind of doing its thing. And then we get this trailer, and this trailer is incredible. It's so hype. It's so exciting. This cast looks like it's going to be bringing so much drama, but I would feel a bit more confident if this was going to be premiering on Paramount Plus. Knowing that this is going to be on MTV and knowing how a lot of the flagship shows have gone very, very recently, I'm a little bit nervous. But you just never know. You never know what could happen. I am praying and hoping for the best, that we are going to get the best that this season can be. I'm coming around to the season. I'm looking forward to it. We just got to get through a couple of weeks of the reunion part 1 and part 2, and then January 29th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on MTV, we will have the debut episode of The Challenge All-Stars Rivals. But now I want to turn it over to you. What do you think about this trailer? Let me know down in the comment section below. What part of the trailer is your favorite? Which daily challenge are you the most excited to see? What was your favorite part? Who are you rooting for? Who are you rooting against? Just tell me anything and everything you felt about this trailer. Did this trailer get you hyped? Does it make you excited when you watch the trailer for this season? Maybe it changed your mind. Maybe you were thinking, maybe I'll sit this one out because season 40 wasn't that great. But then you saw this trailer and it kind of changed. Or maybe the opposite. Maybe you saw this trailer and was like, you know what? I don't know. I don't know what to think about it. Let me know anything and everything, because I'm looking forward to hearing everybody's opinion about this trailer, because this was a lot of fun to do. Let me know anything and everything down in the comment section below. I now want to give a special shout out, thank you to everyone who supports me over at patreon.com/angelcakevids. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your generosity. Thank you. And thank you to everyone who's watching this video up to this point. And I'll be back really, really soon with more Challenge All-Stars 5 Rivals content, more challenge content, more content in general. But until then, peace.